Right, welcome back to the Z3 video, and this is going to be strange order because what actually happened with the car, I got the car finished, got it painted, got it all polished, waxed, did a video starting to do a bit of a road trip, went away for overnight in it, and never got a chance to introduce the car before when I had it cleaned, and then work with the fire service. There was issues, we had some emergencies here with wildfires, so I basically worked for a week solid through the days and nights. I never got a chance to make a video, and then I've actually been away snowboarding again as well, so I'm going to go back onto it. We're on it today, and what I'm going to do is swap the gasket on this. So I've had a bit of an oil leak. I actually put it through its MOT and it failed on two things. It failed one on the airbag light because I never got resetting it from doing the seat, but what I've noticed is when I put in the connector into here, I'm not getting any power. So I know people put wires in it to jump them and stuff and don't do it right, so I have to investigate that. But also at a small oil leak, which you can just see dripping here on this rocker gasket here, or cam cover gasket, or whatever way you want to call it. It has been leaking, and it's obviously been sealed over time. So I've got a new one for that. It's actually outside on the sun, getting all softened up. You can see in that car there. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to try and replace this here, and also the rear brakes. So it failed, the handbrake wasn't holding on the passenger side, and what it turns out is somebody, which I'll show you in a video, has put 10mm bolts in to hold it instead of the proper fitting kit. So I went and got the proper fitting kit, and then also the back plates, the dust covers they were damaged with somebody putting the 10mm bolts into it. So I'm going to replace them as well, but that'll not be today because this place is again log jammed and I can't actually move this car at the minute, so I can't get up to the ramp. So I'm going to do this at the door and try and get this wee gasket done and at least get salvage something out of the day. So again, I'm not sure what order I've put the car in. Unfortunately it's dirty now because I wanted to do a walk around of it, and I've actually put a mark in the front bumper, unbelievable today. So what I'll probably do is mix this video around a wee bit with something else, and then we'll do a bit of a wait for another real good day when I can get it cleaned and show you around the whole car. But I've been driving it now a few days and it's going well, so I just want to get the MOT on and get the personal plate onto it then. So I'll have a wee go at this. There's not much there's not going to be much filming, I don't think, at it, because you're just going to see me taking a few bolts, but I'll just reference into it very quickly and show you what I did and how I did it, because I believe this to be an easy DIY thing for anybody at the door as well. Okay, just to show you a quick video, I'm going to mix this up a wee bit. This is just a tonneau cover I got for to cover the convertible hood. I'm going to actually show you the repair at the end of the video and just show you a wee bit on the road trip and a wee bit around the car. So yes, very sunny day, decided to take ourselves off, and this is actually the Ards Peninsula. So for anyone who doesn't know, this runs down through Groomsport, through Malyle, Donaghadee, and then you can head right round to Strangford and get a car ferry across, which is what we intended doing today. So this is just picking up where we've left Groomsport, and we're heading towards Donaghadee, and this is actually Orlock on the left hand side. We're passing here and coming down into the water will start to appear on the left hand side. So a really lovely day. This was early in the morning, probably about 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning, so still a bit chilly, but it was really good just to get the hood down and get onto the road and just cruise, just to enjoy. It was quite a hard week to get the car ready to this point, so just a wee bit of a gentle drive down, and as you'll see on the left hand side coming up, the water starts to come in the view. That's us moving down in towards Donaghadee. So just a quick couple of aerial shots and then you'll see me cutting in. This is Donaghadee, or some people might know it as Hope Street of the BBC drama series. The town's renamed as Hope Street. So this is a view from the harbour, looking back onto the main town itself, and then just the car in the background. So I had planned all these cinematic shots of the car, etc., but obviously issues arose and I wasn't able to get the shots that I wanted. So basically just a 360 of the car, starting at the rear of it. As you can see from every angle, it's just turned out really, really lovely, and the sun just setting it off today. So back side of it, the two badges aren't on here yet, which should be on by the end of this video. Apart from that, just the cover on and everything else finished. And then moving around to the front view of the car as well. You can see that it's just everything turned out really well, even the headlights and things, just real good, a real good finish on everything. And it was definitely drawing attention that day as well when it was parked there. So I had a bit of lunch in Donegal, and then the next stop along here, as you can see, a lot more water and sand. We're heading towards Ballywalter. So Ballywalter, another wee small town. We're just entering it here. And you'll start to see houses on your right hand side, a beach right along the whole left hand side, and it also has a small harbour there. Again, these are places where we have fire stations, so I tend to be quite lucky. I get to be up and down these roads all the time, know them quite well, but on a sunny day, nothing like it, just to be out and not have to work, obviously, for a change. So moving through Ballywalter and on towards the next destination.
Thought it might be good for me to do a bit of a voiceover. So we are now at Ballyhalbert. We're just doing a quick drive around the harbour and then back along the coast road with the Irish Sea on our left hand side. In the distance you can see the Isle of Man. Next stop along the coast road is Portavogie, then Cloughy. Portavogie is quite an important fishing village with a lot of the Irish Sea Fleet based here. Leaving Portavogie, we pass Kirkeston Race Circuit, which was built on a former World War II airfield, also Kirkeston Castle. As you can see from the palm trees, the Ards Peninsula can get great weather with its own microclimate and daily variety of different weather types. Today we have beautiful blue skies and wall-to-wall sunshine.
So thanks to Sonia for the last 2 bits of voiceover there. Hopefully it's a wee bit of a difference. So final part before we reach the car ferry, this is us coming into Port of Ferry. So Port of Ferry, a wee small town with right on the mouth of the Strangford Lough. So between Strangford and Port of Ferry, it's very, very strong tidal waters a couple of times a day. It empties and it fills the whole Strangford Lough. So there is a short ferry which you're going to see coming into view, and it basically just shuttles back and forward every 15 minutes and half an hour on either side of the water, bringing vehicles, which again you're going to see something strange I've never seen on it, coming into view shortly. But basically takes a 25-mile drive away and just a short ferry right across. And as you can see on the left, yes, that's a combine harvester going on to it. So on a sunny day you do get a lot of traffic, and this is us just pulling into the queue for it. I've actually just missed a boat. They do run 2 boats, but it's mainly in the height of the summer. So just joining the back of the queue, and there's not a better place to sit. It doesn't matter on a day like this how long you have to wait because of the spectacular views, as you can see. So into the 2 lanes, or into the lane, and you can just see the ferry on the right hand side just in white there, and it's basically just a drive on drive off ferry. So we'll join the queue and see what we'll have to look at around. So yeah, that's us into the line and basically just waiting our turn. And as I said to you there, you can just see the boat in the foreground there, and then this is a boat on the return journey. So that's the part at the minute it's quite calm actually, but that's the part where it actually floods a couple of times a day. Very, very strong tide. They actually trialled a tidal turbine there for a couple of years. And the loch is just can be quite dangerous different times of the day. I actually learned to scuba dive here with some of my friends who are going to feature in later videos, and you'll also notice me wearing some of the Explorers Club hat and bits and pieces to do with clothing. So we'll get into that in a different video. But as I say, yes, on a nice day like today you can just see the boat cutting across, and we're just videoing it coming back. It actually nearly has to go past the turnings on a real strong tide just to make the turn. So you can't see that at all happening today. So the reason I'm filming, I want you to see the combine harvester. So we were fascinated. I've had the fire engines and vehicles onto this ferry loads of times. Like I said, it takes a big journey off, and there's 3 lanes on the boat, and it takes, I don't know what the weight is on it, but when we seen this combine harvester sitting, we didn't know whether that was going to go on with the cars or what was going to happen. So that's what we're doing here, actually just filming it, waiting for it to go. And it's actually travelling with a support vehicle which is just sitting in front of it. So I think there was a bit of panic in the line, actually, people wondering where the car's going to go on, what was going to happen whenever it drove on to the actual boat. But as you'll see here shortly, there was no issues. So on we go, and you're sort of expecting, with the weight and the size, the boat stays floating the whole time, that whenever you see it driving on, it's going to actually affect the stability of the boat, a rocket. But as you can see, up it goes, up the ramp, and no problem, straight onto the boat. I dare say it's probably a regular occurrence, but it's an unusual occurrence for me anyway. So just a couple more shots off the lock and a shot off the boat, basically with the bow, so you can get off and go up and stand on the balcony. and have a look out. You see dolphins and things, and then just, yes, a shot of the vehicle packed on and everything packed around it. No problems at all. So just a view of Port of Ferry there, and looking over towards Strangford then. So really short crossing. To say, the boat has to go further past the actual stopping place just to make the turn with the flow of the water. So quite windy still, but still very warm. So I've had to cut down the sound. So that's us just approaching into Strangford now, and we'll just disembark at Ferry, and got a nice wee accommodation called a Queue where we stayed, and unfortunately I had to leave early, so I'm going to jump back into repair. So step one, this plastic cover. May or may not have a couple of wee caps in that. I do not. I'll get them replaced. And then everything here is going to be 10mm bolts. So there's two 10mm in here. I'm just going to use the wee impact gun and spin these off. So basically I'm looking at all these bolts, getting access to them on the cover. Going to be trickier down here, and then again I have a cover to take off here, and I'll have to take the coil packs and stuff off. So I'm not starting loosening any of these yet. Also, I've noticed this breather pipe here is a wee bit awkward. Usually they squeeze together. Looks like it's had somebody at it that didn't know what they were doing, or else it's just age again. But all these things I'm going to replace, fix, and basically make better. So I'm doing a wee bit and see if I run into any problems there. You can see the covers here, so they're just levered off, and then that allows me to get at the bolts. So I'll do another wee bit of picking here and come back to you. So next step in the removal, like I said to you, the two caps, just lever out, two 10mm, undo the oil cap, take it out of the way, and then that cover lifts off. Remember to put the oil cap back on, stop anything dropping down in it, because you're going to be working with some bolts. So next thing on the coil packs. Coil packs here are your spark, what used to be your spark plug leads, but these are the way they're done now. They're more modern, so there's less wire, and it's just an electrical connection on the top. So the little metal clip slides up like so, then the electrical connection comes off, and then you have one 10mm, two 10mm, and this one you had an earth cable as well on the 10mm, but I've already taken these two off, and down in there's your spark plugs. So that's what you're going to need to do for your spark plugs as well. Also, I've numbered them in order, and I'm going to set them on the table here in order. Now they should be able to be used on each side, but these have some numbers on them before, and I don't want to take any chances. These might have been swapped, so they're new to me. They're going back in the way they came out basically, and you can see a bit of gungeon oil already even starting to show here. So again, I'll go and remove these. Obviously it's going to get a bit more awkward when we get down the bottom here, but so far only a couple of tools, and pretty straightforward. Okay, so removed all the bolts, and then I also have, these are upside down, so two wires which are connected onto the head of these bolts here. There we get mills. Remove them and then unclip the plastic loom, pull it back out of the way. So that's allowing me to see all the bolts, and hopefully nothing else is connected. So I'm going to have to use a few twisty extensions, and we'll get these bolts spun out and take a look at the gasket and see if we can see where it was leaking. I suspect down the front here, because whenever you park the car at an angle and then the engine sort of sits obviously at an angle, the oil drips down and then the hot exhaust down there, so you get a wee splash onto it. So not too bad at all. Everything's came off fairly freely. Something to look out for, which I've noticed, is these on these coil packs, is the rubber caps in these are a wee bit disintegrated. So I'll definitely have a look at replacing probably a couple of these. For now they're running, they're fine, but again that would allow oil and things. I'm not going to be using this car often, but I want everything right, so that could allow oil or just water even possibly could work its way around. So something to check whenever you're doing that, make sure the condition's good on them. Okay, so the next step, I have all these bolts out here along the top and along the bottom, and what I've done is I've laid them out here. Now they're all the same, just 10 mils with a wee rubber washer. Then I take this out, which is mounted onto the top of this, one of the wee guides. So I've loosened that off, and now next I'm going to undo the 10s that are sunk in here, including the ones with a cable. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that should be it all out. So I'll go ahead and loosen them off, and hopefully then that's the cover ready to lift off. Okay, great success. Pull the bolts out of the centre, and basically just the cover lifts off then. So looking at it here, the gasket, you can see little bits of sealer things put in, so not ideal. Probably just over time this becomes brittle, cracks, lets things come off it. So there's also we set of gaskets here to replace, which I suspect were leaking a bit because there was a lot of sealer plastered in there, so I have to just give it all a good clean up and look. So that comes with the kit. So we'll replace these 3 gaskets. You can see even here it's just coming off. We'll replace these gaskets and replace the other gasket. Give all around this edge here a seal up. Get rid of all this extra sealer and things that people have put on instead of just doing it. But I mean, realistically, 20 minutes or so you could be in there with that, and it may look daunting, but it's actually not. It's pretty straightforward. 8 and 10 mil bolts and a wee screwdriver just to lever things off. This is your timing chain for the engine, and which is a variable valve timing system. So this basically works off your oil pump, just the chain, adjusts different parts of the engine. So I'm not going to pretend I know every last thing about it, but if you hear anybody mention it, that's where it is. You can see the little valve that pushes tension on the chain. These can give issues, so this appears to be good. These can leak as well and become rattly. So in a chain, you can hear the chain rattling and things. So everything here seems to be tight. So I'm going to go ahead and get this cleaned up, clean all the rubbish off around the sides, and then, like I said, I've had the new gasket sitting in the sun out there, which will soften it up and make it a lot easier to fit. So shouldn't be too much. I'll just get it popped back on, and then if I come up with any issues, I shall let you see it. Okay, so very simple. Basically just cleaned all down all around all the channels just with a screwdriver. It's only a plastic cover, scraped out all the sort of crud and hard oil, and then just push the gasket back into where it has to go. And these wee things here, these have a wee locating hole at the end, and these line up. Basically just again push them in where they have to go. They're quite a snug fit when it's new, so I'll let them sit for a minute and they'll sort of shape and harden up again. They've been in the sun, and then when I bring this cover over, then the gasket should stay in place for now. Some people also put a wee bit of grease in there and things to hold it, but I'm going to try and do it dry just because I want to make sure that there's no further leaks from it. I also noticed that in the back of this here, the wee plastic trim, somebody cracked it. It over tightened on the, don't know whether it used a power tool or whatever to tighten up these tens. So there's a bit of plastic's been glued in there. For now it'll do me, but I'll keep an eye out for a cover and probably replace that the next time I need to go in there for something. But I just want to make sure that I can that this sorts this, because I say it was just a wee drip towards the exhaust, and you only notice it when you've been driving for a bit, so I just want to rule that out. So there's pretty much, I'm just going to feed this back in, and there's nothing else really to show you. So I mean that's all there is to it. Again, I'll just put it on and then I'll work from reverse, tightening up the bolts, but I'll do it all by hand. There's no great there's no reason to torque them up too much. Just basically tighten them up enough and just nip them up. There'll probably be torque settings and things for it, but realistically, you know whenever something's getting too tight or not. Obviously somebody's just went too far when they were tightening these ones in. Probably it was this one here actually. So there's no reason. That's just a wee locating. So there's no reason to swing on that or to use power tools on it. So I'll fit it back in, and then we'll just do a wee bit of a test drive with it, let it run, make sure that it's all sorted. And that's job done. So everything back in. I'm just going to run the car now, make sure there's no leaks. Actually move these wires back out of the way because there's like a coaster wire. And some of the insulation had actually started melting, some of the rubber with the heat in here. So I'm just going to have a look at that and maybe reroute them somewhere. But that's pretty much it. 20 minutes at the door. No, 20 minutes, what am I talking about? 20 minutes once you have the covers off, probably an hour total. Still to put this wee cover on with the 210s. And all you really need is 8mm, small 8mm socket, long reach, just for getting the cables off here and here. And then everything else is 10mm bolts, all the coil packs, all the covers, everything else. And when I was tightening it across, there probably is a procedure, but start in the middle and work my way out, both sides. And that sort of pulls the rubber across. And again, looking down through the actual spark plugs themselves, just make sure the wee rubber is seated. I actually fitted it to the engine first, so you should be able to see through and make sure none of this rubber is poking through the holes. But that should be it. So hopefully that was a bit of use, definitely something you can have a go at yourself. Definitely something you need minimum tools for. And I think the gasket was about 30 quid. So don't, if you start getting oil leaks, start trying to fill it with sealer and things, just go ahead and have a go at it. But hopefully this makes some sort of sense in this video. I don't know how I'm going to edit it together, but hopefully that's helped you with something. Just keep checking back for other videos. And what I just thought I would add, this is the gasket that I got. So made by L-Ring. And the part numbers there, something will go across. But basically it's a BMW 6-cylinder rocker cover gasket, and then that came with the wee rubbers for the spark plugs as well, to go around and seal the spark plugs. So I know you can buy one with just the rubber, but I would just advise you once you're in there, do the 2 parts to it. Okay, so yeah, a bit of a confused video. Started out with the road trip, and what actually happened was with work I had to cancel our trip and come back early, so it's a bit over the place. Hopefully you enjoyed what you seen of it and the commentary, and also hopefully you enjoyed the wee repair I did to the car. And I just want to say thank you very much to all the recent subscribers. I've had quite a lot recently. It's pushed me right over 1,000 subscribers, so really pleased for that, and hope you enjoy the rest of the videos. And if you haven't subscribed, consider clicking the button, put the notifications on, and give us a thumbs up whenever you're enjoying the videos, or any questions, send it to me and I'll come back to you as soon as I can. So thanks very much. Cheers.